Welcome to The Explainer, where we turn complex topics into clear, actionable insights. So let's say your investors are demanding data on your carbon footprint, but the official sustainability standards, well, they're silent on the specific metrics you need. What's your next move? Today, we're diving into the official playbook for when there is no playbook. All right, just imagine this scenario for a second. Your company needs to disclose its water usage, or maybe something about its supply chain diversity. But you look at the official standards, you're digging for guidance, and you find a gap, a total blank space. So what's the right move? So today, we're going to unpack the official answer. We'll start with that exact dilemma, then explore the formal guidance, see what tools you can actually use, understand the rules, and then finish up with some real-world examples. Okay, let's start with the reporting dilemma itself. You know, this reporting gap is a pretty common and honestly a pretty significant challenge for companies that are really trying to be transparent and comprehensive with their disclosures. Good news is you're not just left hanging. You're not supposed to guess. There's actually a sanctioned process for this exact situation, and it's outlined right there in IFRS S1 Appendix C. All right, let's dive into Section 2, the official guidance. This is all about how to apply this judgment correctly. See, Appendix C provides this really clear framework so that your disclosures are still credible and useful, even when you're kind of flying without a specific map. Yeah, its whole purpose, its entire reason for being, is to guide companies in these specific situations. It's all about making sure the information you provide is still high quality and meets the needs of investors. But, and this is a big but, you can't just grab any old information. The crucial point here is that whatever you decide to include, it has to pass two key tests. And what's really interesting here is the balance they're striking. The information can't just be relevant, useful. It also has to be faithfully represented. That means a complete and unbiased picture. We're talking the good, the bad, and the ugly. No cherry picking allowed. Okay, on to Section 3, an approved toolkit. This is the practical side of things. Let's look at where you actually find this information. So, Appendix C lays out a really clear list of approved sources. Think of it as a toolkit for reporters. You've got the GRI standards, the European Sustainability Reporting Standards, or ESRS, and you can even look at what your peers are doing. The one big rule, they can't conflict with the main IFRS standards. All right, Section 4, the rules of the road. Because all this flexibility is powerful, for sure, but it comes with some really important guardrails to make sure everything stays legit. Rule number 1, and this is a big one, you can't use these other sources as an excuse to hide or bury the stuff that's already required by other IFRS standards. No way. And here's the second major rule, and it's all about being upfront. If you do rely on GRI or ESRS to fill a reporting gap, you absolutely cannot state that your disclosure is fully compliant with IFRS sustainability standards. It just isn't. You have to be clear about that. Okay, last section, Section 5, putting guidance into practice. So why does all this matter for you? Well, let's look at how this guidance is already being applied out in the real world across different industries. This table just lays it out perfectly. I mean, look at agricultural products. There's no specific IFRS metric for water use, so what do? They use the GRI water standards to talk about irrigation efficiency. Smart. Or how about apparel? There's a lack of detailed rules on supplier diversity, so they pull from ESRS social standards to report on their initiatives. You can see companies aren't just sitting around and waiting. They're using this guidance right now to give their stakeholders a much fuller picture. So if you take one thing away from this, it's that Appendix C is a bridge. It's a really important bridge that allows for meaningful reporting today, while new, more specific standards are still being developed for tomorrow. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question, right? Is this flexibility going to spark a ton of innovation in sustainability reporting? Or are we about to enter a new Wild West of disclosures that are hard to compare side by side? It's something to think about. Thanks so much for joining this explainer.